Suresh Gopi gave BJP an unprecedented lifeline in Kerala. He became BJP's first ever elected MP from Kerala, won with a whopping margin of 70,000 votes, defeating political heavyweights, former State Minister V.S. Sunil Kumar of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, and K. Muralidharan, son of veteran Congress leader and former Kerala Chief Minister. His first poll victory got him straight into Modi 3.0 cabinet. But with this triumph has also arrived Suresh Gopi's passion dilemma. Is it now becoming mandate versus movies? For me, acting is passion. I cannot survive without acting in films. This is what Suresh Gopi has said, yet again. When he sought permission from Union Minister Amit Shah to act in films, according to Suresh Gopi, this is what Shah said. He asked him, how many more do you want to act in? And I said, around 22. On hearing that, Amit Shah flung the paper aside. As a minister, while shooting, I'll carry a ministerial team with me. They'll be in a caravan. I'll anyway return to start my shooting on 6th of September. If I'm relieved on this account, I'll consider myself saved. Is this Suresh Gopi, the actor, speaking? Or is this Suresh Gopi, the union minister, speaking? Or is it Suresh Gopi donning both the hats but finding it difficult to find himself in both the places at the same time? This isn't a first time though. Suresh Gopi, of course, is speaking his heart out and not possibly the best way in politics. But while he has won a huge mandate, Indian Parliament does have a history of actors turning parliamentarians, winning Lok Sabha seats or even being nominated to the Rajya Sabha. Let's look at some of their track records, and we're looking particularly in the last Parliament session itself. We've picked out a couple of them. Sunny Deol of the BJP. His attendance is at 17%. Debate participation was 0. Questions asked, 4. Shatrughan Sinha of the TMC. Attendance, 63%. Debate participation, 0. Questions asked, 0. Adhikar Deepak Dev of the TMC. 12% attendance. Debate participation, 2 questions. Debate participation 2, and in fact, questions asked 106. You have Kiran Kher of the BJP, 47% attendance. Debate participation 9, questions asked 106. Nusrat Jahan of the TMC, attendance 23%. Debate participation 12, questions asked 147. Hema Malini, again a repeat MP, 50% attendance. Participation 20, questions asked 105. Manoj Kumar Tiwari, again a repeat MP, 85% debate. Attendance is 85%. Debate participation 37 questions. Pardon, debate attendance is 37 and the questions asked is 395. Lokit Chatterjee of the BJP, attendance 88%. Debate participation is at 43 and questions asked is at 295. Ravi Kishan of the BJP, 68% attendance. Debate participation 81. Questions asked 480. And it's not just actors, by the way. It's interesting to see how politicians who have either been elected to the Lok Sabha or nominated have many times tried to recuse themselves. We have Gambhir, ex-East Delhi Lok Sabha MP, requested Naddaji, and I'm quoting him in this. He has said, I requested Naddaji to relieve me of my political duties because I want to focus on my upcoming cricket commitments. He said this on March 2nd, 2024. You also have Sunny Deol, the Gurdaspur Lok Sabha MP, and this is what he had said. I hereby appoint Gurpreet Singh as my representative. He will follow key matters pertaining to my constituency. I have a panel with me to look into how this works, but first let's just listen in to Suresh Gopi and just one or two political reactions that eventually emerged.
ഇനി എത്ര പണം ചെയ്യാന്ന് ചോദിച്ചപ്പോൾ ഒരു 22 ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും പറഞ്ഞപ്പം അമിത്ഷാ പേപ്പർ കേട്ട് അങ്ങനെ എടുത്തൊരു സൈഡിൽ എറിഞ്ഞു. പക്ഷെ അനുവദിക്കാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഞാൻ സെപ്റ്റംബർ 6 പോരും. അപ്പൊ ഇതൊക്കെ ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് ഞാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നു. ഇനി അതിന്റെ പേരിൽ അവർ പറഞ്ഞയക്കുമെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ രക്ഷപ്പെട്ടു എന്നേ പറയാനൊക്കത്തുള്ളൂ.
Now we can see that Prime Minister Modi after 2024 is a weak Prime Minister. It has been proven by the Council of Ministers, Mr. Suresh Gopi's statement itself that weak Prime Minister is unable to decide about what to do and who has to be in the Council of Ministers. The 2024 elections has made Mr. Modi a weak Prime Minister.
I am really surprised how Amit Shah, Home Minister, misbehaved with Suresh Gopi, Union Minister from Kerala, when he pleaded with Union Home Minister Amit Shah that his passion is films and he has about 20 to 22 films in his hand. In Kerala, they have great regards for Mr. Gopi, Suresh Gopi, and I think such kind of behavior is not acceptable, especially from the Home Minister.
And I'm being joined by Dr. Sonal Mansingh, former Rajya Sabha MP, Dilip Cherian, founder Perfect Relations. I'm also going to be joined by Bhavna Ramanna, who's an actor, and we'll also be joined by Khushbu Sundar in a bit. But first to you, Dr. Sonal Mansingh, and of course, Dilip Cherian, both of you, thank you very much for joining us. Good evening. Dr. Sonal Mansingh, my question is very simple. Let's start with what we are seeing. Let's start with what we are seeing with Mr. Suresh Gopi. Is this a crisis that celebrities would often face? I mean, there are others who are raring to go for political debates. Here is a person who had a landslide victory in Kerala, historic of all sorts, got people's mandate, won a Lok Sabha elections, and he literally seems to be caught between his passion, what he calls an acting, and the post of a Minister of State for the Union Minister. How do you look at it as a celebrity who was in the Parliament as well? And of course, you were appreciated for your work job there also. You got an award and an appreciation, all of that. So how do you look at this?
Very important issue. But for, I think, Suresh Gopi's latest statement, we are usually taken for granted. I was a nominated member by the President of India for Culture in Rajya Sabha. I did not fight an election. So the expectations normally from nominated members are very few. Yet, the issue here is, how do professionals manage, if at all, to be this or that or both together? My contention is simple. Nothing is done without one's explicit permission or explicit wish or desire. I was asked whether I will accept it, or I was told. And if I could have said no, I'm sorry, because that will take away my time. But having once accepted, I put all my bit into it. Here are the Lok Sabha elections. You have people's mandate. party has worked for you, the workers have worked for you, the people have joined you, money has been spent, expectations have risen to the sky, particularly when you're talking about celebrities and people who have these so-called glamorous professions. I feel that it's a situation which demands balanced maturity beforehand, how or not, yes or no, to accept, to take it up or not to take it up. Because once you take up something and then you hold back or you wish to hold back, would that be being fair to the task at hand? Secondly, I feel that people look forward from the celebrity that not only dance or on the celluloid, but now we want to see what you do with us, what you do for us, what you say. We want to hear that. We want to see that. We want you to be with us. These are very beautiful sentiments.
No,
and
that's the point.
feelings that
You know, Dr.
I have
Sonal Manse,
experienced
and as you
in
make
my
this point,
small
before I
way,
go to
because I'm
Dilip
not-
Cherian for his response, let me just ask you one more question, ma'am. Just a very quick sequel to what I asked you. And therefore, is it very difficult for Suresh Gopi? I mean, do you see this as an actor turned politician who has to now grow in his political acumen? Or is it the fact that because he won the Lok Sabha election with such a big mandate, he's been given the mandate by the people, he would not have been in a position to say no to a ministerial post when it's being offered, because that would be injustice to the mandate that he got?
It's not that simple, madam. It's not that simple. But my contention is, my first thing is, first step, that when one fights an election, when one accepts to be a parliamentarian, and especially somebody like mature person like Suresh Gopi, who has great reputation, I respect him a lot, although I've never seen his movie. Earlier when I joined Rajya Sabha, he was in Rajya Sabha, I remember, and we had met a couple of times. But when he has fought Lok Sabha elections, and he's got people's mandate, I'm sure he knew what would happen, that he would have to deliver. He will have to do right by the people who expect things from him. And then if he was offered ministership, then he could have decided or told very gently that, sir, that would be too much for me, I may not be able to do it. But now, having accepted everything, and then now to create this situation, I don't know, it's a very delicate situation.
It is a delicate situation. There's no two rounds about that. But Dilip Cherian, if I can come to you at this point, you have your roots in Kerala. I'm hoping you have seen Suresh Gopi's movies, at least some of them. The tough tops, the super cop that he has played in many of them, the action heroes that he is. So it was expected that his real life persona is quite on those lines as well. But Dilip Cherian, my question is a little larger at this point. Look at the performance of celebrity turned politicians. And I'm not only talking about actors. Well, there have been some of them who have performed very well. But by and large, their participation in the parliament, whether it comes to debates, questions asked, issues raised, their presence in their constituency amid the people is a huge concern, Mr. Dilip Cherian. Is there a relook that needs to be done? Of course, with the peg of what's happened with Suresh Gopi, but is there more that really meets the eye at this point?
Sneha, I think we need to separate out what happens with those who win elections and those who come to the Rajya Sabha or are nominated. Those are two different categories. That's one. I think Suresh Gopi probably hit a bit of a roadblock when he realized two things. One, what ministerial responsibilities were expected of him and the time commitment on that, and total diversionary dedication to that, I think he bit off more than he could chew. Second, Malayalam cinema is today at a kind of state where there is enormous respect, huge growth, and lots of people
Absolutely.
snapping at
And
your
some
heels.
great movies.
Suresh Gopi realizes that if he is to fulfill his passion, these are the next 5 years when he has a hope of being able to do that. So I think that it's a bit of a tough call for him, because either he has to take a decision to bow out of the movie industry, which clearly is having a high moment. And that, I think, is the main reason why he is taking this. Why was he made minister? He was made minister because there was need to show that southern representation and the future of the BJP in Kerala was, in a sense, signaled by the party, saying we made our candidate win, and the winning candidate to be Mantri. Now, I think that you need to recognize that he feels that he has done that. Whatever virtue signaling he had to do, he has done. And I think perhaps, like any professional, he's had to relook at what is on the plate for him in the future. Whether it reflects on the kind of expressions that he can give to his own thoughts and dreams in the ministry or not, I don't know. It's too complex for us to comment, and we don't have enough data as yet. But it will come out, I'm sure. So, in a sense, he's taking a call on the business that he knows, and that business is cinema. And he realizes that a 5-year out of sight, even though he may be fully in sight and visible as a minister, is not going to work for his movie career.
Dilip Charian, do you want to also spend a minute on, as a citizen, as somebody who's seen politicians up close, of how they perform in Parliament, particularly those who have been elected? And if you look at some of them, if we could have those graphics up again, some of them have been re-elected several times. Again, even within them, you have some who have performed great and some who have performed in the Parliament terribly, but are repeat MPs.
You know, being repeated as an MP, if, as I said, if you're in the nominated or Rajya Sabha category, is entirely dependent on your boss, whoever the boss may be. It is not dependent on performance.
No, but we are even talking about Lok Sabha elections, primarily about Lok Sabha elections.
So let me tell you this much, that in a Lok Sabha, a star can win once. Winning a second time is difficult, but winning is not dependent on performance in Parliament. It is dependent on the extent to which you are invested in your constituency and the problems of your constituents. These figures don't reflect. So you will find that people who win in the Lok Sabha more than once are people who have the ability to set up an office, have the funds to be able to access and be accessed by their voters on a 24/7 basis. Today's average citizen, and you asked me to speak as a citizen, the citizen's expectations from her legislator is a lot. And she wants to be available, or her to be available 24/7. It's not easy. Many professionals are daunted by that. And I don't think that performance in Parliament, which is easier to measure based on questions, attendance, etc., is only one of the measures. I don't think it's a measure on which they get elected again.
Bhavna Ramana, would you agree?
It is right now, me being an actor, and I'm really struggling hard to be in political career and I also want to make a political career. And most of the time what happens is people within the party and people outside, most of the time take a long time to accept any actors coming from a film industry to be in the politics. They really take a long time, even to accept them as politicians. They do not consider us as politicians at all. I'm only afraid to see that if such situations and scenario occurs more and more, then that believes in faith in that thinking that the actors can be the good politician or a representation or representative of all the social for the society and the social issues, I think it may get diluted. I think at this point of time, it should be beyond that. It is very unfortunate about Mr. Suresh Gopi because having been only one seat from Kerala, he holds a lot of responsibility on his shoulder because he is the one who has to take, as Mr. Dilip was mentioning, for any elected politician or a member of parliament member, it is important that he or she has to concentrate on their own constituencies. But then for Mr. Suresh Gopi, I think the scenario is completely different because it is only him who is representing whole of Kerala. So it is not just his constituency. He has to think of the whole state. And the whole state is going through a lot of things in the flood situations, a lot of scenarios that they're going through. And that has to be converted. That has to be, that conversation has to happen. He has to bring all that problem and then he has to put it across in the Parliament House. It is very important. It's very unfortunate that he has not been able to attend. I don't know the reasons what they are, but then I just think that the belief and faith on actors that they can be good leaders, that they can be the one who can really take the initiative about the society, for the society and for the people, that has to be more and more stronger, for which I think we all actors from the film industry, we have to really work hard on it. Now we have Mr. Pavan Kalyan, who is Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. So we have many more people, but then it's like it is a struggle. Yes, indeed. We do have a popularity, but then when it comes to responsibility, it is a lot of responsibility. We should be able to take it in our own kitty and then say, yes, this is my personality now. I'm much more beyond a celebrity. That acceptance and adaptation of responsibilities and having these things about us being celebrities and now it is a responsibility adaptation. There are a lot of things, but then I think it's difficult to manage, but then with the passion, nothing is impossible.
Okay, Bhavna, Raman, two questions, okay? One, I just want a 30-second answer because I'm asking you this as an actor.
Yes,
when you heard Suresh Gopi, and it's not the first time he's speaking like this, this was even even earlier, right after he was selected as a minister for in the Modi cabinet. This is what he also said earlier as well. When you heard it this time again, what was your instant reaction? Did you see him as a political opponent losing that opportunity or not being able to cope? Or did you say, oh, this is tough on him? Second question, it's not fair to make this all about Suresh Gopi because we have an entire list of actors who have been either elected to the Lok Sabha or have been nominated to the Rajya Sabha. And I was just asking this question to Dilip Cherian as well. And some of them have been great performers and they're repeat MPs as well. But others really, in terms of at least a basic standard of how Parliament performance is seen, the questions, the attendance and so forth and so on, they just fall short. So it isn't really about Suresh Gopi alone.
Yeah, for the first question, I think I don't think he has failed, or I don't think it is very preliminary to say anything, or I'm not here to judge his capacity or capability. Maybe he has a lot of situation where he is really tied up behind. So it is maybe also it may take him a little more time for him to cope up with all the changes and the demands. What it really the demands are much more higher than being an actor. When you're a politician and a leader, and especially one and only person who has won from state, the whole state, and who's also a minister now, minister ranking minister. So it is a lot of demand. So to cope up with all this, it takes a bit of time, I think. So an actor who has been that big, it is not difficult for anyone of such personality to cope up with these scenarios also. Maybe he is just taking a little more time, that's all. But then when it comes to many people, as you've not taken the names, but then yes, many people have not attended.
I have actually joined us a little late, but
and they've been given Rajya
I
Sabha
have
members
taken out the
and
entire list of the MPs in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and given out the names. I gave it out. In fact, it's on the screens, it's on graphics, it's right there. So the names are out there for us. We have taken all the data out.
Okay, since I cannot say that, and I've also joined a little late, so I missed out on all that. But then yes, I understand, but I really think that then it is a waste of opportunity. I really think that. And it is a shame for anyone who has given that such an opportunity to be voice of the whole nation and the people and then their problem. If you're not going and being a representation of such people who believed in you, I think if you fail to do that, fail to be the voice and fail to be the bridge of all these people's emotions, I think it's a shame. I really think it's a shame.
Okay. Dilip Cherian, very quickly to you. You know, we are harping about parliamentarians who are celebrities, who are actors, sportsperson, so on and so forth, who have not delivered, who have not met the criteria in the parliament, at least in terms of the performance, how they are gauged and all of that. But despite these numbers year on year, parliament term on parliament term, people seem to elect them. People seem to report their faith in them. It doesn't matter to them. For them, it is their star, the stars they love, and they just believe one thing, that he will be there for us. He'll be our voice out there. He'll be somebody, or she'll be able to be somebody who will give us the maximum benefit. Is that also a catch-22 situation for somebody who gets elected and not just nominated?
You know, if you look at our screen and see the quality of power and presence that both Sonalji and Bhavna have, it's a very good reason why the citizens repose faith in people like this. And that is a remarkable testament to what people's expectations of their leaders is. There's a second reason. And the second reason is that given the nature of India's movie-loving, persona, there is this belief that what you see on screen is what you get in parliament. In some senses, people tend to conflate these images they have of their heroes and heroines, and the fact is that these actors have very often a phenomenally easy time getting elected compared to someone who's never been visible or in that industry where there is adulation as the secret sauce of success.
Okay, all right. We're out of time, but Sonal Mansingh, do you want to, just a question as a fellow parliamentarian at one time, what would you want to turn around and tell Suresh Gopi? What would you, I mean, let's face the fact, this is not his first election. He didn't skyrocket. He worked hard on the ground. Well, he did padyatras in Kerala. He was there in Thrissur. He made his presence felt several times. Whenever there were issues locally, he was there. He was talking about them. He was protesting on the ground. So he was not like somebody who just skyrocketed it and people won it. And he's contested 3 elections. It's the 3rd election that he's contested, I think. But, you know, he's made a historic win. A minute to you, what would you tell Suresh Gopi? Okay, I think we have an audio issue. How unfortunate, Dr. Sonal Mansingh. We don't seem to be able to get your audio at this point. I wish we could have heard that advice, but I want to thank my panelists at this point again, Bhavna Ramanna, Dr. Sonal Mansingh, as well as Dilip Cherian. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much. I just hope that Parliament will see better performance, and I hope that Suresh Gopi would represent Kerala better. I mean, there's a lot that people are expecting out of him as well. Thank you very much, all three of you. I'm also being joined at this point by Khushbu Sundar, who's an actor and, of course, a politician with the BJP as well. Khushbu Sundar, thank you so much. I believe you are at a shooting site right now. So you hear about what Suresh Gopi has spoken. He seems to have spoken with his heart on his sleeve. How do you look at it? You know, a big margin that he really won with, 70,000 votes, a huge mandate that he has won. He has earned, if I may say so, because people have reposed their faith in him, but there seems to be a tug of war going on within him.
Yes, he does. It's always been like that. You see, politics can never be a profession. This is something, again, you have to be passionate about. And if he has been chosen with 70,000 margin by the people of Kerala, his constituency, that is because people have known him all his life as Suresh Gopi, the actor, who's done some brilliant films where he's played the righteous cops, he's played where he fights for the people, the kind of characters he has done. That is what has given him what he is today as the member of parliament. So I think it's, I think I really appreciate Suresh Gopi that he's not trying to be somebody on a very goody-goody lines, trying to keep up an image and say that, okay, cinema was fine, but this is politics and I'm going to be all over politics and I have nothing to do with cinema now. No, he still says that cinema is his passion. So I think I really appreciate his honesty about it. He's not going to leave politics. He's not that he's not attending parliament. He is there. He is speaking about the issues considering what's happening in Kerala or his constituency. He is fighting for the people of Thrissur. But I think I really appreciate that somebody like Suresh Gopi has the courage to speak his mind.
I wonder whether you're speaking as an actor or a politician, Khushbu Sundar. I wish we could have had a longer conversation with you. You've known Suresh Gopi so well, personally as well. I think you are in a place where the range is terrible. But thank you for trying to speak to us, Khushbu Sundar. Thank you so much. It's time for a very short break. On the other side, we'll try and get you all the latest and the big stories of the day.
In